Good morning, Capricorn. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning, welcome to the channel. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm Nicole. Capricorn, it has been a minute since I've gotten a video out to you guys, and I thank you for your patience and your understanding. Just like anybody else, I go through life, right? So no excuses, but still in the same breath, trying to divvy up energy as a Scorpio. Always a good time. Before I get started and moving forward throughout the rest of the signs and then into the next series of videos, I'm going to say this. I've gotten some comments in the comment section of my channel for different videos. People saying that they don't understand, it doesn't resonate, it wasn't their story, that's not what they're worried about. Lovingly, the best that I know how as a Scorpio, if it does not resonate for you, do not force the message to fit. Plain and simple. You know, part of it is understanding that I am reading as much as any other reader is reading for potentially billions of people, right? It may not be your message. And if you take what resonates from the video, if it all resonates, fantastic. If parts resonate, fantastic. If none of it resonates, fantastic. It's not your message. Do not force it to fit. There's no need to be miserable about it, essentially. And part of the discernment is also understanding your spiritual path. And I can do a whole other video on that, and I probably will at some point, being me. So Capricorn, you know, if you find that parts of this resonates, again, fantastic, right? So guys, please be sure to take what does fit. Do not force things to fit. Do not get down and cranky and miserable if it doesn't fit. Just know that it's not your message, but also recognize, like, you know, a lot of the channels talk about love and things like that. Love is not just romanticism. You know, love varies in different portions of our lives. Like, we are universal love. We give love to everything that we nurture, everything that means something to us. So again, just because it's not in the format that specifically speaks to you, if somebody's talking about love, where else does that situation potentially fit in your life? It's not just one way. So just be cognizant of that. And I could ramble on about this forever, but I will not. Anyhow, after that, Capricorn, this is going to be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus cross watcher. If that is you, welcome to the channel as well. This will be your August 2023 reading. I do intend on getting other videos out. I may be taking a week off here very soon. Not sure, but we'll see what happens. Okay, no promises, no guarantees, but I guarantee that more videos are coming, hopefully without delay, like it has been for the past few months. I've had a lot of personal stuff going on that has required my time, my energy, and my attention, and is very valuable to me. So please just be understanding of that. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. If you find the video does resonate, please like the video. If it doesn't fit your narrative, then that's cool. Sometimes we're better off just saying nothing at all. And then if you guys are interested in personal readings, that information can be found in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. And you can also find me at holisticallyzenwv.com for a full list of products and services that I offer. 333 on the timer. Capricorn, answered prayers, the Holy Trinity, right? All right, Cappy, let's get into your reading and see what's going on for the month of August for Capricorn. I was doing some meditating prior to opening up the video, and Capricorn, I kept seeing like the third eye. I kept seeing the third eye. So that is our perception, right? That is opening ourselves up to a different way of thinking, a different way of viewing things. You know, very, very basic knowledge around that, okay? So Spirit, we're going to start with the Sacred Geometry deck and Root Chakra, Divine Masculine energy underneath that. Spirit is saying up-leveling in your life right off the bat. So Spirit for Capricorn for August of 2023, what do they need to know? Compassion. Guys, we're moving into Venus retrograde, and I think it is today. I'm a little off with my dates right now. But with that, we are doing a lot of reflecting, a lot of looking back at things, a lot of, you know, reevaluating where we are, where it is that we're going, the things that we've invested ourselves into, depending on where it sits in where, you know, your sun sign is and stuff. It's going to resonate with different, or everybody differently, being, you know, what house it's affecting for you specifically in astrology. But number 15, Capricorn, when you think about it, that is the Devil card, and that is your energy right there, compassion. Spirit is saying first and foremost that this compassionary energy that is coming up is related to you, giving yourself that compassion and love and understanding as well. The frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. There is a need to open yourself up. This crown chakra is, you may be getting divine downloads, and I did hear that when I was meditating, downloads. Downloads that are coming in from spirit that are maybe nudging you, and I forget what other sign I read for yesterday. A little bit of the same types of energy, that, you know, you're coming into a space of spiritualism, or, you know, connecting with your guides, your ancestors, your angels, whatever you put your faith into as far as that goes. But you're also understanding that there is a divine essence to the role that you play in the world around you right now. Okay? And it is being compassionate to yourself, maybe not so hard on yourself. I think that was Cancer's reading, that I talked about them being, you know, kind of taking the brunt of guilt in situations and understanding their role in it. And for you, this is compassion. When I say about compassion to ourselves, it doesn't mean that we're not giving that out to other people or the need to give that out to other people. But I think that you're starting to look at yourself from like a more nurturing standpoint and more nurturing eye, that all this nurturing that you may have done with others, it's finally something that you're looking at yourself and you're treating yourself with a little more kindness, a little more care. You may be diving into self-care at this time, whether it's via, I'm hearing mental health from spirit, and your physical health. So it's like, you know, if your thoughts have kind of run the show, if your emotions have run the show, if, you know, maybe you just were in I'm going to call it a lazy period, Capricorn, without, you know, any meanness, I guess, to that, that now it's kind of like you're looking at yourself going, I do need to be nurtured. I do need to be cared for. And so maybe putting some things down, it's kind of like spirit coming in and going, take care of yourself before something else happens. And there will be more of you to give to the rest of the world around you when you are in a better frequency yourself, right? Because we can't pour from an empty vessel. It's kind of what that boils down to in just plain and simple terms. We cannot pour from an empty vessel. We can try, but we're half-assing it at the end of the day. We're not in our best space at that point. So Capricorn, let's get a couple of cards from the Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle and see what else is going on for you guys. The Warrior and Belonging. Some of you, Spirit just said the definition of what it means to truly be present. The Warrior, excuse me, and the Belonging card. I feel like for a lot of you, you're constantly fighting a battle of the self, of trying to hone in on the pain of where you fit in your own world. This external environment that you're in, how do you fit into this? There's that period, again, of reassessing as we move into Venus retrograde. You know, assessing where it is that we are, why we're there, how we got there, and is this really what works for me? How can I switch it up to be more fulfilling for me? Is this what I truly want and desire? So definitely a change up of perspective in that way. So for Capricorn, please, Spirit. Rigid in movement, beauty. Okay, Capricorn. Cappy. Rigid in movement. I'm hearing a watchful hawk's eye is what Spirit is giving me. Interesting enough, I talked about seeing 333 on the timer. We have a 30, which breaks down to a 3. And then we have 29, which breaks down to an 11 or a 2, right? So we've got some of those numbers. You got 3, 2, and 4 here. I do believe, you know, Spirit is giving me that, you know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel here for you, Capricorn. you know, your thoughts, your thinking patterns may have been, and I'll use the term rigid, for you for some time. Like you're always kind of keeping a watchful eye out for things around you. But all of a sudden, there is this need for, like, you're eradicating yourself from this, kind of turning your back to what is rigid. And it's funny because with this horse on this movement card, you know, when you read tarot, there's things that you can see in a tarot deck one time and never really pay much attention to, and then all of a sudden it stands out significantly. For some of you, there may be teeth issues, mouth issues. I'm no doctor, not medical advice, but if you're having some kind of, Spirit is showing me bleeding, so like gum bleeding or something to that effect, make sure that you're, you know, getting things taken care of. Don't let them fester, right? But at the same time, I feel like there's parts of you that you're carrying off that have been damaged. You've kind of had to take a rigid way of thinking, almost like an analytical thought process of how things were working out in your world. And it's like you're trying to get around the emotional upheaval attached to situations around you. It's taking a lot of strength, a lot of courage, a lot of fortitude. I think that there are parts sometimes that you get this gut pull, this gut nudge that makes you feel extremely uncomfortable. And it's trying to navigate. It's like willing to climb the mountains, not so much for the purpose of healing, but the purpose of avoidance. You have to make sure that during this, that you are doing the healing work at the end of the day. What are you giving back to yourself through the lessons, the turmoils, the struggles, the strife, as you move forward into this? And I think what you're coming to realize with this beauty card underneath is that somewhere along the line, in whatever it is that you're involved in, right? Place it where it fits. Whatever it is that you're involved in or have been involved in situations, that it wasn't all for just the pain, just that experience of just pain or illusion, right? It has been for the purpose of helping you to unfold into your best self. That through these experiences that we have here in this world, that we start to see parts of ourselves that either enlighten us to go, gee, I can't believe I handled that so well. And then other parts of us that go, shit, I could have handled that completely differently, and maybe the outcome would have been different. But it's important not to beat yourself up on the things that maybe you think you could have, or thought or think that you could do differently in the past. But offering yourself that beauty and that grace, that things can be different and will be different. It's a learning curve, Capricorn. At the end of the day, it's a learning curve. Always a learning curve. That's how we learn our lessons, right? we take that on and we go from there. Now, some past, present, and future energy, and we'll clarify this. I'm going to try to keep these videos a little shorter than my usual. Anxiety, overthinking, overanalyzing. The interesting thing to these three cards that are on the table right now is that there's like stormy kind of energy behind all three of them. I'll show these to you because there's no nudity, so we won't get in trouble. You see, it's starting to clear out, right? But yet there's this little streak of lightning that sits within that card. And then yet we have this movement where it's been gray and cloudy. The sun's starting to shine, right? And then we take a look at this anxiety card, 18, which breaks down to a 9. The correlation of all of these break down to a 9 as well. That's that independent energy wanting to stand into, come into an abundance, right? Almost reaching that 10. But you see, there's storms outside of her. The mental anguish is bringing in for her tumultuous energy of the thought process, worry and concern over things that have held you back. Is what Spirit is saying. They have held you back. It's almost like, I look at her and I think she's beautifully dressed and she's stressing out, but she's failing to see the beauty of what is within her. And it doesn't mean male, female, gender. It's not relevant in that way, but it's like there's a childlike innocence to the way she has herself done up, but yet it's like she's battered and bruised. So whatever this situation is for you, Capricorn, that's bringing in a lot of strife and struggle, it's causing this mental anxiety, it's time to recognize that it's something that you can get away from. It's not a part of who you are. It's not dictating, you know, who you are at your core center. It's just asking you to be aware of where your thoughts are going. Not saying that everybody just creates undue stress, but we do in our own way. And not saying that it makes our situations less important or less stressful, but it's going to be how we handle ourselves through these situations that's going to be imperative to how we move forward. A man holding a heart. That too breaks down to a 9. With that, some of you could be, and be honest with you, maybe having relationship issues, and it's Venus retrograde. But this to me is like there's a commitment and a vow to something. And if it's not a relationship, Capricorn, then put it where it fits. But a vow to something, whether this is with you or another person internally, that it's almost like carving out the heart space, holding on to it for something that is worthwhile, worth your time, worth your energy, something that feels good. Now, this man holding a heart can also be somebody coming, you know, sitting at a distance from you, assessing how it is they want to approach you with some type of love offer, if you will. Feeling good, like the end of this cycle wants to bring in some positive reinforcement for you that will change the way you view what love is. And again, very much some Cancer energy there, as I talked about love with Cancer yesterday as well. It's like our idea of what love really truly is at the end of the day. So, and with Cancer, or Capricorn, Cancer, Capricorn, with Venus retrograde occurring, for some of you, this could be very much around the way we see love, reassessing our relationships with other people. We have an 8, first chakra Archangel Michael, which is at our root, our foundational energy, how we see ourselves, how we're stable, where we belong, and then this community being a 7, you know, the way we work with others, the beauty of collaborating with positive movement rather than fighting amongst each other. But the interesting thing to this community card today is that while they're all there working in perfect harmony, they are all there within themselves. So you may be working with a dynamic right now too, Capricorn, that everybody is there. Maybe 3 people, maybe more, maybe less, right? It's going to vary. But everybody is there working for themselves. But I'm going to say to you, is it harmonized? I think some parts of it are. I think some other parts are maybe not so much. So let's do a little bit of clarifying to see what comes out for you all. We're going to use the Rider-Waite. All right, Spirit for Capricorn, let's clarify. What is anxiety for Capricorn, please? The 10 of Swords, the 2 of Swords. The need to put, if you haven't already, the need to put pure direction into the thought processes. A lot, I talked about that mental energy. We're looking at the anxiety card, clarifying it, and there's those swords. That is all mental energy. The sword suit is mentally how we handle things and what is going on in our minds, right? We've got the 10 of Pentacles and cards flying everywhere. The 9 of Swords, the wheel. 10, 10, and a 9. For some of you, this may be related to money matters. 6 of Swords. Lots and lots of swords, Capricorn. You could be dealing with an air sign. You also have Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius here as well. The Wheel of Fortune. You know, I would like to say that it's a positive turn of events. However, whatever this change, this shift that has happened, potentially in the financial realm of your world, or your stability and foundations, right? Our pentacles are, you know, can be materialism, the tangible kind of things in our lives, right? Our home, our relationships, a multitude of things. But whatever it was that was what maybe was on the upswing in some way, has now brought in this feeling of, I don't know what to do. And with that, it's like you're trying to, talked about like evading, right? Like moving through it, climbing those mountains, but then trying to avoid dealing with the emotional side of how this makes us feel. Maybe feeling like things that are not just, they're not fair, they're not balanced. And that maybe, you know, for some of you, I'm getting too from Spirit, that if you sign some kind of contractual agreement, there may have been something around some fine print that wasn't read, or you'd missed, somebody may have misled you, which is kind of causing you this anxiety and this worry. You know, someone may have manipulated the situation around you to make it appear to be better than it seemed, but there may be some, Spirit is saying, some strings attached to that, which is causing this worry and this anxiety. The Two of Pentacles with the Man holding a heart, the High Priestess. I'm hearing, I could have done better, I should have known better. You may feel like somebody is taking advantage of your kindness. This could be you, Capricorn, with that heart. There may have been some incoming communication surrounding a particular situation that now it's almost like you're trying to become, you're almost being a little brash about whatever this is, because I feel like there was, if you were dealing with somebody, put it this way, if you're dealing with somebody, or we're dealing with somebody, and you kind of let them in the door, and you were kind of on the fence to the situation to begin with. Now, this could be a work relationship, this can be a life, you know, whatever. Place it where it fits. I'm going to say it a billion times and beat it into everybody's head. I felt like you were kind of on the fence about whatever this was to begin with. And then, but you were communicative about the fact that, okay, sure, I'm just going to have a sound mind as I navigate the situation with a specific person. And I do think that you've done that to the best of your ability, and it kind of happened quickly. But I also feel like there's a lesson of the past attached to this, and you may have seen this as somebody changing around you, maybe trying to make some better effort moving forward. But somehow, some way, it still doesn't work. Somebody may be sitting back and viewing you going, this did not quite work the way that I thought it would, whether this is you or on the other side of this. It did not quite bring this collaborative energy together. I talked about that three in the community, right? Reminds me of the Three of Pentacles working and collaborating together. And then we have the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Everybody kind of out for themselves. If you're in the dating scene, I would just be aware, like Venus retrograde, I'm not saying don't involve yourself in things. It doesn't mean that we stop and put our lives on hold, but in the same space, we want to be mindful of what it is our desires actually are, and if the things that we're investing our time and energy into, 23:32 on the clock, the things that we are investing our time and energy into, is it really what we want to do? Or are we just doing it for something to do? Or are we doing it to fulfill a void for the temporary time, right? Because I think that you have this idea of what wish fulfillment is, but there's a boredom attached to getting there at this point. This first chakra, the Hanged Man, the Devil, cheese and crackers, and there, as you've seen the deck split up on me on its own, the Ten of Swords again. I do think that sitting back and reflecting upon a particular situation, Capricorn, you're recognizing the patterns and the traits. And I talked about that boredom, right? In Four of Cups, I mean, he's just there, right? Like he's just, you know, can be construed as boredom. And there it is. You know, it's like, make sure that you're not re-engaging with things that are not healthy for you because you don't know what else to do. There's a space. And the Hangman is, I think you are having a greater understanding of the toxic patterns or the obsessive thought processes that you have, or the way that you do things. And then Capricorn, you know, there it is, the Devil card. That's you, right? And understand that no matter how compassionately you come towards somebody else, they may not see it. So this boredom may not just solely be you, but I feel like you're operating from a space of boredom. A space of, well, there's nothing else going on right now, so I'm going to fulfill this space with this particular thing, because something should be moving. Something feels like it should be moving forward in some way or you know, avenue. And through that, you know, on the other side of that, it's almost like two people coming together that they just don't have anything better to do. So they're trying to pass the time. Not saying that that specifically is your situation, but the energy around it is reflecting something of that nature. And then underneath, the Lovers. You know, when you're investing your time and energy, you're making that conscious choice, because the Lovers is a card of free will choice, right? There's a little bit of deception behind that. And I think that that deception for you is the need to make this movement, which there's the Ace of Wands. You know, inspired action. Are you inspired out of boredom, or are you inspired because you don't want to take the time to do that healing that I talked about? Yes, venturing off on a new beginning, but the Empress has healed herself. She's not coming just from the mind space. She feels that compassionate energy towards the things that she's moving forward into. She's willing to sit with it and feel it. She creates the new, right? And to create new, we have to let go of the old as well. Yeah, another card of boredom, waiting for your seeds to grow. The World card, a sense of completion. There's that Seven of Pentacles, right? He's just kind of sitting there waiting for something to change, something, you know, digging, you know, they always use the idea of if you plant a seed, you don't go back and dig it up every day to see if it's grown at all. You just patiently wait, and you find other things that are in alignment with you, most importantly. Things that are in alignment with you that help you move forward to complete something else. It's like there are workings going on in the background in the future, potentially through the month of August, if not into September, that you're going to have to be patient. It's kind of like a test of patience, that maybe things don't appear to be moving. You have an idea of a direction you're supposed to be going, or what you would like to see happen, and yet now you're waiting on that to occur. But in the meantime, Capricorn, do not reinvest yourself into things that are not healthy for you or not up-leveling for you. But I do think that through this, you're recognizing patterns of how, you know, you've done things in the past and how they didn't work out. And I feel like for some of you, you may be revisiting those situations, almost kind of testing the waters as to how different things are. Nose is itching, right? Confirmation of the same. But then, once you have this understanding, you have the Three of Cups energy, that 3 again, right? 3, 3, 3. We talked about that, and there's 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3. The sooner you allow this cycle to complete and trust that the universe is guiding you wholeheartedly with faith into the next part of where it is that you're heading, there will be a cause for celebration. I think it's finding like a new tribe, if you will. Finding people who truly do resonate with you. You see, when we look back at this card, I said they're kind of like, they're all harmoniously there, but yet they're there for them. Whereas moving forward into the future, you've got 3 people who are giving their attention to each other rather than their own focus. They're doing it together. So it's like finding a cohesive group to help you move on, helping you to see your abundance, people that are going to be there and be at your side for the right reasons. And they see all of you, not just one of you, not just the self, right? So it's also about giving back, and through that, you've got the Ace of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. The 8 of Pentacles, working towards learning, right? Putting in the work to get to this 10, which brings in new beginnings at the end of the day. Capricorn, I think you're just going through some serious life lessons right now, and I don't think that it's a bad thing at all. I mean, those lessons are going to be pivotal because then we learn how to navigate ourselves in this world. We learn how these, I don't want to call them tower moments, but how these lessons, they change us. What we take from those and we move forward with changes our perception, that third eye, of how we view things, and understand that there's a greater working behind the scenes for us so that we can continue to evolve. All right. Let's see. Advice for Capricorn, please, Spirit. Advice for Capricorn. Awakening a genius. I think sometimes, Cappy, that you're just not, you're not aware of how much you've changed. It's giving yourself credit. And I've seen a couple of the signs kind of struggle with this. You know, not realizing how far it is you've come and how much knowledge and wisdom that you have gained, and then being guided through it. You know, trusting that you are being guided through it. It's almost like you're taking on all of this work through the DNA structure of your entire existence, along with those that have come before you, and you're integrating that into the knowledge and the power that you specifically need to move forward in this life. And you've learned those lessons through the external sources, by the examples or the situations that you've encountered, and then you couple that with your willingness to be aware and to be present in the moment and understand the lessons that Spirit is giving you. I think sometimes it's been a real struggle for you to get there. But also know that you're going to have to persevere through whatever comes next. And I think right now it's kind of overcoming this idea of loneliness or boredom, or feeling as if there's not as much to do as there was once upon a time. With that, I feel like some of you feel like life is just passing you by, and there's no real reason. It's like the same humdrum energy as yesterday. It's, you know, same shit, different day kind of vibe. Spirit is saying just wait for it. What that specifically means, I couldn't tell you at this point. They're not giving me that, but just wait for it. Yes, so every day we're a little bit older. Every second we're a little bit older. Every minute we're a little bit older. But I just seen something yesterday. It makes me think that you know, you can, you know, start life over at 40. You can go to college at 70. Like, you know, it's that kind of idea that time is just a made-up constraint that humans put on things so that we can be somewhere by a specific time, or invest this much time, or give so much of ourselves, or be here, be there, do this, do that. It is a constraint that humans have created to make life more difficult, I think, than it needs to be. And then our society is run yourself ragged from morning, noon, and night. So when you don't have to run the rat race, it's like, now what do I do? If I don't have appointments, if I don't have work, if I don't have, you know, kids' extracurriculars and all of that kind of stuff, what am I doing? Then what? It's learning to allow yourself to settle into a space that gives you the frequency to take care and support you in a more compassionate and nurturing way of who you are. But I think the key takeaway from this is to stay out of your mental thoughts and anxiety. I think sometimes it's like, you know, using distractions. I will say, as an example, you know, I'm infamous for working myself to death to keep myself out of my head, because if I'm busy doing something else, then I don't have to focus on what it is that I don't want to think about. So, but then, Capricorn, there are healthy distractions and there are not so many healthy distractions as well. So you're going to have to decipher what it is that you need, what kind of distractions you need, and are they good for your up-leveling as you move into new growth. So it will close out. Be patient. It's like baptizing a cat, telling somebody to be patient, right? But either way, Capricorn, I think that you're fine ultimately, but I think you're having a hard time seeing the big picture moving forward. Granted, December is a Capricorn month, and that, you know, maybe your birthday is in December. But I will also say to you that I think by the end of the year, you're going to see things, I don't want to say pick up the pace, but they are, it's almost like you're waiting, like new year, new me, maybe. But don't wait for that. Don't wait for that. But I think by by the end of the year, you will have this rejuvenated energy to maybe take a more forward approach in some of the things that you're doing. December, January really do stick out to me for some reason. All right, Capricorn, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope that this reading resonated for you. If it did not resonate for you, no, it just wasn't your reading. That's all. And, you know, hopefully the next message will be. So, you know, stay kind. Keep comments nice. Don't be crazy. So, Capricorn, if this video did resonate, though, please hit that like button so I know that it did. And, you know, that helps circulate the video, though, to those who do need to hear it. Subscribe if you've not done so, and if you're interested again in a personal reading, that information can be found in the description box below, the About section of the page, and then at holisticallyzenwv.com. I hope you guys have a wonderful month of August. I hope to see you very soon. Please take care of yourselves, and I'm sending you all of my love.